Hi, I'm Delilah. Welcome if you're new here. I am currently down 231 pounds. 120 of those pounds was down on my own prior to getting some medical diagnoses, hitting a 1 year stall where I only lost 5 pounds in a whole entire year, and then getting the ability to begin my homeboy Mounjaro. Since beginning Mounjaro, I am down an additional 111 pounds, and I have about 130 more pounds to go until I hit my goal. If that sounds interesting to you, please feel free to join the family and subscribe. We'd love to have you here and get to know you better. Now, what we're going to do today is something a little bit different, but something I've been wanting to do for a really long time and just couldn't figure out how to do it. Now we figured it out, so here we are. We are going to review my very first full month video since beginning Mounjaro. Now, let's see, what did I call it? The name of the video, I called it Mounjaro Talk, first full month, an honest opinion from someone who wasn't looking to be on it. Now, I'll explain more in the video. I haven't seen it yet in a really long time, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. So let's just go ahead and watch it together. Uh, I tried to recreate the video as best I could. I have my hair up the way that I did then. I'm wearing the exact same shirt, and here we are. So this is a year and a month since this video was filmed and posted. So let's get into it. Also, for those of you that don't know, I do suffer from migraines, and this little tiny itty bitty little baby clip is giving me a headache, so I'm gonna take it out. But I just wanted to show you as best I could, trying to mimic it as closely as possible, just because I thought it would be fun to do. Oh, goodness gracious. So I started my period. I missed an entire month. But you can see this side is not nearly as bad. But you can see some this side, the hormonal outbreaks. Yeah. I don't know if you see this. This is a year difference. And I didn't begin those medications until the end of last year. So this, I haven't even been doing it for a whole year, but this is a year from then, a year now. No joke. It is no freaking joke. I have suffered from hormonal outbreaks for many years. I think mostly once I hit adulthood. In the past, when I was younger, I would get maybe a pimple here, a pimple there while I was on my period. But as I got older, it became more like cystic, like stuff like this too. Like, and then it stopped for a while. And I hope that it's not back. I hope that this is just like some weird fluke, because this is my first period that I've had on depot. This is also my first period. It wasn't a weird fluke. It came back with a vengeance. Biggest difference on the planet. If you suffer from hormonal acne as well, remember I have PCOS, had fibroids, but don't wait. There is relief out there, because this stuff hurts. Not only is it ugly, it's painful. Very, very painful. Mine were cystic and nodular, so they never came to a head. They never, ever, ever got to a point where I could just pop them and move on, which you shouldn't be popping your pimples anyways, but I could not pop them and move on. This was painful. This was inflammatory. This was like your face skin feels like it was stretching out. Your face always felt hot. They itched, they hurt. It was miserable. But you don't have to suffer. You can find relief. You just have to ask. I didn't know. I tried over the counters. I was on so many over the counter different types of lotions and potions to get rid of it. Nothing worked. Nothing worked until I had to go on prescription strength things. And since I've done that, I am so incredibly grateful that these are options. I am. I'm incredibly grateful that these are options. It wasn't a fluke. It was back for a long time. It was back until I started the tretinoin alongside the spirulactin, because I was already on spirulactin for a couple of months by itself before we ever started the tretinoin. Then adding in the tretinoin with the spirulactin has made the world of difference.
And on top of that, it was like another month or two before I began azelaic acid because I have rosacea. So the azelaic acid helped because I think this was also triggering rosacea in me. I'm not really sure because you could see all the redness in my face, but go figure. I don't know. But it wasn't a fluke. It stayed. And even after I had my uterus removed, I was still getting hormonal breakouts every time it was the time of the month because I still had an ovary, and that single ovary was still sending signals to my brain that it was time to start my period. It hadn't realized that there is no period to be had. Praise God, because that was an ordeal.
This is my first period that I've had on Depo. This is also my first period that I've had on Mounjaro, so I don't know.
At this point, I hadn't yet started the daily bleeding. This was still a very normal for me period, which is not normal for people. It's just normal for me, right? Um, or I was still bleeding 10 days, 10, 14 days ish. Never, never, never less than 10 days, ever. Never. I've never had a period be less than 10 days in my entire life. I've had multiple periods a month. I've had times where I've bled for 3 months and 6 months. 3 months and 6 months tended to be the like kind of the range. It would be either I would bleed for 2 weeks, then stop, and then start again for another 2 weeks, or I would bleed for 3 straight months, or I would bleed for 6 straight months, and then it would tend to go away. This time, I hadn't yet. This hadn't started for me yet. The daily bleeding, the daily losing clots, all of that hadn't started yet. It's going to start in like 2 days from now. I didn't know I didn't know what I was in store for. I had no idea what was going to happen. Um, but as you can see, even my eyes, like I do not have on like normal occasions, I don't have dark circles under my eyes. I don't have sunken in eyes. I don't have a yellow tinge to my face. I'm brown, right? I look brown all the time. I do have a yellow undertone, but I don't look yellow. Like here, I look like I'm becoming a Simpsons character. I look like I have really dark circles. I look like my eyes are sunken in. They haven't yet gotten to the point yet, but I was already needing, I already knew that I needed blood transfusion and iron transfusion at this point. Um, but we didn't know the severity yet. I didn't know what was in store for me. But you can see, to me, I can see the difference. So if I can see it, I believe other people can see it. I don't really know, but I would hope people can see it. But I can see the difference in not only my eyes, but in the yellowing of my skin and the fact that I no longer have the hormonal acne.
I have read that some people, although I don't believe I remember reading that it was a known side effect. I don't remember reading that it's a known side effect. So I don't know if that's part of the problem, but I have heard from, personal accounts from other people that they've also had breakouts. Well, on I think moving into 5 milligrams.
I'm not necessarily talking about acne breakouts here. I'm talking about bleeding breakouts. Um, I've heard other people say when they started or what have you, they just started randomly bleeding. Even people who said that they were in menopause started bleeding again. Whether or not that's a side effect of the medication, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I only know that when you gain weight, your fat cells store your hormones, which includes estrogen. Estrogen is a hormone that when a lot of it is released into your bloodstream and your brain, believes it's time to bleed. So as you're losing weight and your fat cells are breaking down, they don't ever leave, but they shrink, right? And as they're breaking down and becoming smaller, then they're releasing those hormones back into your body. And if you had a lot of estrogen stored into your fat cells, the ones that are particularly being, shrunk at that moment, then it stands to reason that your brain is going to believe it's getting all of a sudden that rush of estrogen that your ovaries would be sending to your brain, telling your brain it's time to ovulate. It would stand to reason that your period would be uh, what happens, right? if that egg doesn't get fertilized, or if you don't have any more eggs to release, but your brain thinks it's supposed to. So it makes sense that we would have breakout bleeding occurrences when you're losing weight, whether you're on a GLP-1 or not. That makes perfect sense. I wouldn't necessarily say it's a side effect of the medication, but I would believe that it is a side effect of weight loss in general, or massive weight loss in general.
So, yeah. But anyways, so this is my full 1 month. Let's see. Step it. So this is my full 1 month update since starting Mounjaro. Now, when I say 1 month, I mean the entire box of injections plus. So what I mean by 1 month, I mean the entire time that it took me. Oh, I also got a new travel bag. Okay, that I love this.
Sorry guys, ADHD is real. I do still love that bag. I still do use it whenever we go on road trips or whatever, and not just for that medication, but for other things too. And that bag is going to be joining me when I go on our cruise, our family cruise. I'll skip this part in editing. We'll jump over this part.
What I'm considering 1 entire month is after I have taken all 4 of my injections, all 4, plus the entire week after my last one. So basically the day before my 5th injection. That's what I'm considering when I say an entire month. Okay. So we're going to go over that. How much have I lost in this entire month? What where my head is. Because if you guys are new here, you don't know that I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to start injections. I didn't even really know much about injections, to be honest with you. I didn't want to look at surgery as an option. I wanted to be able to do it by myself. I wanted to be able to continue my weight loss on my own.
To this day, I can't explain that. I don't know why I had this need to want to do it alone, on my own, without any tools, without any help. I truly didn't know that there was real help out there outside of surgery. I really didn't know that. And it wasn't because, I'm being obtuse. I just really didn't know. I knew kind of sort of about Ozempic. Like I had heard a little bit about it here and there, but I didn't really know what it was doing for people. I didn't really understand. All I knew was that when my doctor suggested semaglutide to me, I looked it up. I was not yet type 2 diabetic. At this time, I had absolutely no issues. Not even I wasn't even hypothyroid yet. That didn't come for a couple of more months. But I did have fibromyalgia. No, I didn't. I mean, I guess I did, but I wasn't diagnosed yet with fibromyalgia. The only thing that I knew that I had was asthma and the mental stuff, right? Like I knew that I was addicted to food. I knew that I, had BED. I knew that I used food as an emotional coping skill. I knew those things. I knew I had depression. I knew I had anxiety. I knew I had PTSD. I don't know. Think I knew that I had bipolar at this time. I don't remember, to be honest with you, if I knew that part or not. But I didn't have any medical like outside of my brain. I didn't have medical other issues, so my insurance wasn't going to cover it. And when I looked it up, it was $1,800. We had just moved into our house. When I very first moved into this house, our mortgage was $1,140.11. $1,800 was more than my mortgage, with my property taxes and my homeowner's insurance combined. Yeah, I wasn't in a position to pay that. So I didn't look into it anymore. Like I did no further research because what good would it do me? It didn't matter. I couldn't afford it. And then here we are. But I I just I had something to prove to myself, and I guess to those people who have watched me fail in this part of my life over and over and over again. I wanted to prove to them that I can do it. We're already a whole year into me having lost and kept off 115 pounds. The other 5 pounds, that'll be another 6 months. But still, we were already here at that point. And I couldn't lose another pound on my own. I couldn't, no matter what I tried, no matter what I did. I had to face the fact that I wasn't going to be able to do it by myself. And I didn't know that Mounjaro was going to help me. When that very first moment that I took it, I did not know that. I took it because I was more afraid of type 2 diabetes than I was of anything else. I was more afraid of any side effect that I can get. I was more afraid of the needles. I was more afraid of nothing than I was of type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes scared me more. It put a fear into my heart that I cannot explain. For 10 years, I worked for a public books company that did they're called like dial rides over there. It was called the rides program. Basically, we worked with disabled people where we would take them to their medical appointments and that kind of stuff, right? We would take them anywhere. If they wanted to go to Walmart, they could, but you had to be you had to fill out an application, you had to go through an interview, you had to be approved to be part of the program. And it was based around medical necessity, right? But then you can do whatever you wanted with the trips. Now, um, I would say 75% of our clientele went to dialysis 3 times a week. And I watched these people experience one of the worst things that you can experience having type 2 diabetes. I watched them go through limb amputations as a result of their diabetes. I watched some of them become blind because of as a result of their type 2 diabetes. I watched them lose their lives as a result of type 2 diabetes. And I was afraid of that. I like my fingers, I like my toes, I like my eyesight, and I wanted to keep it. I wanted to do anything and everything that I could to keep it. And I was willing to go through any side effect to be able to say that I did the best that I could in order to keep my fingers and my toes and my eyes. It hasn't been easy overhauling my life. It hasn't been easy saying, you know what? Yes, I could eat these things. I can feel normal by eating these things. I can, still indulge in candy and cupcakes and whatever. But why? Why put myself in that position? If I can take it out of my diet, suffer for a little bit, because it only takes a little bit for your taste buds to change. Once your taste buds change, when you taste those things again, they don't even give you the same flavors anymore. It doesn't taste the same anymore. So why not? Why not try to do everything that I possibly could in order to remedy what I've gotten into? Why not? It's not easy, but I'm worth it. I know that now. I know now that I am worth it. My health, my happiness, my life is more important than that cupcake. And I never knew that before. I never knew that before.
I did lose 120 pounds all by myself, and I wanted to be able to continue doing that. However, for 6 full months, I was stuck and I couldn't move. I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why. But at once, I got a PCOS diagnosis. I got a hypothyroid diagnosis. That was a couple of months before I got the PCOS, but I would say maybe 3 months before. So I got the hypothyroid diagnosis, the PCOS diagnosis.
I don't know why I kept saying months. It wasn't months. It was years. It was a couple of years before the hypothyroid. That was the only thing. Well, and I had fibromyalgia. I already knew about that. I already knew about the arthritis in my spine, but that was it. Like, oh, and I already knew about the the autoimmune inflammatory disorder that has no name still. Yeah, that one. I knew about those, but all the other things, my A1C was still good. My cholesterol was still good. Like my blood pressure was still good. All those things were still good at this point. When I had gotten those diagnoses, it was about 1 or 2 years before that I gotten the hypothyroid diagnosis, and I was on like 3 different doses of levothyroxine, and we couldn't get it under control. And it wasn't until this last blood test, that was back in January of this year, so 8 months ago, that my thyroid is finally under control. And that um, can I contribute that to Mounjaro? I don't know. Why not? Why not? Because I'm still on 75 milligrams. I've been on 75 milligrams for like, I don't know, a year now. Um, but nothing I did controlled my thyroid until I was on the 75 milligrams plus Mounjaro plus weight loss, like extreme weight loss. So I couldn't tell you. I don't know. But yeah, just for clarity, it wasn't months, it was years.
Diagnosis, the fibroid diagnosis.
But in my opinion, 1 to 2 years is still a really new diagnosis. Like that's not a long time in my brain.
The vitamin D, the like extremely low vitamin D diagnosis.
Oh, I also knew about the vitamin D for a while. Wasn't a couple years. It was like a couple months. That one was a couple months.
The iron deficiency, where I need to now start transfusions diagnosis. I also got a type 2 diabetes diagnosis all at once.
All of those were on the same blood test. Every single one of them came from that blood test, that single blood test. All of those diagnoses came from that single blood test. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus, that my OBGYN decided to test me for all of those things and not just a couple things. And it was all the reason why we were being tested, or I was being tested, was because I wanted to know if I had PCOS.
At least it feels that way. The type 2 diagnosis and the PCOS and the fibroids.
Also, at this time, I had only had the 2 PCOS diagnoses. I only had insulin resistant and inflammatory. We didn't know yet about the cysts on my ovaries until I had my hysterectomy in December. So I will have about 6 months of time where I only have 2 diagnoses or types for PCOS. I didn't yet know that I had the 3rd. And then they are talking to me about possibly even having the 4th, which is adrenal. I mean, in this point, who cares, right? Like, there's nothing that can be done for any of those things, but still.
And the iron were all, they were all the exact same day. So I started Depo for PCOS on June 19th. I had gotten the medication sent to me. And then I went to California for my brother's graduation. I came back, and that following Wednesday, so I was back on Monday.
When I say the medication, I'm talking about Depo. I had the Depo sent in, and then you have to go pick it up from the pharmacy and bring it with you to, well, me. This is the way my OB does it. And I had to bring it with me to my next visit when I came back from because it was on June 19th and his graduation. We were gone for like 3 or 4 days. Right before, because I came back and I got back on Tuesday. The very next day was Wednesday, and the very next day was my OBGYN appointment to go get the Depo injection. And then from there, I drove to my primary care physician, which is where I got the Mounjaro prescription written out. um, and started it that day. So I started Depo and Mounjaro on the exact same day.
And the following Wednesday was the day that I went to take my Depo at 9 o'clock in the morning. And from there, after I left the OB, I went home, took a nap, and then I drove straight to my PCP, where I was given the prescription for Mounjaro. I cannot explain to you really much of what happened at that time because I was sort of like, I was being a child. I was like practically covering mirrors, la-di-da, la-di-da, I can't hear you. And the reason why I did that, and I didn't literally do that, but
But I won't lie, I really wanted to. I really, really, really wanted to do that. I was so scared. When I heard that, I really was so scared. I was so scared. I was scared.
ignored her as best as I could. Um, I ignored the details of what she was saying without being rude and, still acknowledging that she's speaking to me and, those kinds of things. And I didn't want to talk myself out of it because I still had it in my head that I can do it. But I was so overwhelmed with everything that was going on and all these new diagnoses that I had been given. I was just afraid. After hearing two doctors in a row, literally on the same day within hours of each other, my OB appointment was at 9 in the morning, and then, well, it was at 9:15 in the morning. And then my PCP appointment was at like 12:30, I think. And then within hours, I'm just like, okay, like my brain is just kind of fried. And she told me she was going to write this prescription to try to get my A1C under control. And hopefully it would allow me to no longer continue to crave carbs. And
the only reason I know she said that was because she told me at my next appointment. I told her the truth. I said, I'm going to be honest with you. Last time you told me, I tuned you out because all I heard was diabetes. And I was completely afraid. And I don't know what you said. For all I know, you could have told me that if I go home right now and pull all my hair out, then it'll all grow back 3 times as strong. I had no idea what you said. So I'm going to be honest with you. And then she reiterated what she had told me the month before, and told me that the medication would hopefully help me to lose weight on top of controlling my A1C. A1C is the number one thing that we're looking for, is controlling that, and then it would hopefully help me to lose weight and help me to control my carb cravings. I had no idea what she meant by that. I didn't know about that yet. I didn't understand that this medication really could help with that yet. Now, I knew what food noise was. It's been referred to as food noise, food talk, food chatter, food thoughts, things like that for many, many years in my life, not because of medication, but because of therapy. I learned those words in therapy. So for me, they weren't new words. They were things that I understood because of my ED therapies in the past, right? Had I not had those ED therapies in the past, I likely would not have understood what those things meant. And I may not have understood that that's what I was dealing with. I have no idea. I really couldn't tell you because I don't know. I can only tell you that I did know what those were, but I didn't yet know that this medication can help to shut it up. I didn't know that yet. At this point in my journey, we're already a month in, I knew, but I didn't know that when I started.
And not agree, and that it would allow me to continue to lose weight through the insulin resistance that my body was facing. So I said, okay, but the only way that I can do that was by pretending that I didn't know what was going on. Like I can't explain it. because I really didn't want to do it. I really, really didn't. I really didn't want to face the fact that I needed help. And so on my drive home from the doctor, I get a text message from the pharmacy, and they said all six of my prescriptions, six prescriptions were ready. And I said, okay. So I drove straight to the pharmacy. I purposely did not look at any of the names. I just went straight to the pharmacy, picked up my first 2.5 milligram box. I got that prescription filled, came straight home, sat on the couch, opened the bag. I wasn't in tears, but I was very, very emotional. I pulled the box out, and I had not heard much about it because, again, the very first time that I had ever heard about GLP-1 injections was Ozempic, and that was prior to Wegovy even becoming FDA approved. So I had heard about Ozempic in the very beginning of 2020, and I got really sick with the Rona. And another doctor at the time had told me that, this was probably an option that I should look into. She was really pushing me to do weight loss surgery, and I didn't want to. So
I didn't want to because I knew I wasn't mentally ready. I knew that if I got the surgery, I was going to be one of those statistics that didn't keep the weight off. I knew that because I wasn't mentally ready. It's that simple. That's why I didn't want to do it.
She suggested that I started Ozempic, but my insurance wouldn't cover it. So it was going to be $1,800 a month. We weren't going to do that. So I just never looked into it again. I just knew it was something that I didn't want to do. And I don't know why. And I'm guessing a lot of it is because, not necessarily with Mounjaro, because I hadn't really heard of Mounjaro yet, but I'm guessing it's because of all the bad press that it was getting. People were saying like all of these things about the side effects.
Also, you guys, I'm so sorry. My eyebrows are driving me nuts. I keep seeing them like have fallen in this video. They're driving me insane. I'm like, fix your eyebrows, please.
The nonstop diarrhea, constipation, vomiting, that people were pooping their pants at work because they couldn't make it to the toilet. I have IBS, so I know what those things are like. And I was just like, I don't want to add to the fire, so I was just afraid to look into it more.
God, I can't get over how yellow I was. Do you see it around my mouth, around like a bandana on my eyes? Look at it, like all right here, super duper yellow. Right here's yellow. Right here. I am so flipping yellow. Do you guys see that? Is it just me seeing that? I can't be the only one seeing that.
Because I knew that I couldn't pay for it anyway, so what was the point? And so now now that I've done research, now that I've begun, now that I've experienced it for myself, the gratitude that I have towards the makers, Eli Lilly, for producing Mounjaro, for my doctor, for writing the prescription, for the OB, for, just trying to, because before all this happened, and they were giving me the prescription for the depot, she was telling me that she was highly concerned that the depot would make me gain more weight. And that was something that she really didn't want for me to happen because I'm already super morbidly obese. And to add more weight on top of that, which a lot of people do gain weight from depot. I've never been on it before. I have taken oral birth control in the past, and I have gained weight from those, but they didn't do what I needed them. I was never taking them for birth control. I was always taking them for period regulations, and it never worked for that. So I just would stop taking them, and then, a few months.
Good. Fix those stinking eyebrows. I can't get over how yellow I look. Yeah, I've never taken birth control for birth control. I've only taken it ever for period control and regulation, and it's never worked for me, ever. Pills didn't work, Depo didn't work, IUD didn't work. None of it worked for me.
Months or what have you would go by, and then we would start a different one, and we would go from there, and nothing ever worked, so I stopped. It wasn't worth it to me to keep gaining weight and not have my periods regulated. I was breaking out. I already have facial hair, so I was getting more facial hair, and I was just like, hey, no, I'm just gonna stop.
I didn't know yet about hirsutism. I didn't know it was part of PCOS. I didn't know I had that. I just thought I was a hairy Mexican. I mean, look at my arms. My arms are super duper hairy. Do you see that? The rest of me is that hairy too. In fact, my arms are the least hairy part of my body. I'm hairy. I used to have a big, giant lion's mane of hair, and um, since this iron issue, a lot of my hair fell out. A lot. Like 75% of my hair fell out. Now I have bald spots, and I didn't before. And even in this video, you can already see it forming, the bald spots right here. You can see my hair thinning. You can see that it's not as long, it's not as thick, it's not as big. Yeah. But my face was hairy too. I had like Elvis sideburns, I had a mustache and a beard.
And I just didn't feel like myself on birth control, so I stopped. So this time around, hearing, hey, you need iron infusions, you need to go to a clinic and get these things done, just terrified me. All of these things just were so scary that it was like,
you guys, I can't get over just I I can't get over the difference in my skin's appearance from there to now. Like in different positions, you can see just how red it was, how swollen it was, how textured I was. I mean, every face is going to have texture no matter what. My face has texture now. I have pores, whatever. Um, but this is different. This is different. And I cannot get over how different it looks from now to then, or then to now, whatever. I can't get over it. It's like it's shocking even.
like I'll take the Depo, even though I didn't want to gain any more weight and I'm scared of it. Like I'm not even gonna lie to you, I'm scared. I don't like medication. I don't like to take medication. I don't want to take medication. I don't want to be on medication for the rest of my life, which is probably another reason why I never looked further into Mounjaro or Ozempic, because I don't want to be on medications. But here we are. And now I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity to do this. If my insurance didn't pay, there's no way I could pay $1,800. It's more than my mortgage.
I still say that to this day. I'm incredibly grateful. I'm so grateful for this medication. And as awful as it sounds, I am grateful for the type 2 diabetes diagnosis, because if I wouldn't have been diagnosed with that, I would have never been able to start it. I would have never been able to start Mounjaro. And because of that diagnosis, I was able to start, because my medical insurance does not cover weight loss medication. They don't even cover phentermine or phendimetrazine, which is the same thing, just one is time released and the other one isn't. But they don't cover those things. I would still be struggling so much more than I am now. I mean, it doesn't do the work for you. I'm doing the work. I'm the one who's not eating those things anymore. I'm the one who is walking. I'm the one who is being more mindful of what I'm putting into my mouth. I'm the one who's doing the work in therapy. I'm the one who is doing the work by taking my medications. The medication doesn't do the work for you, but it helps. It gives you a leg up. And I am incredibly grateful for that. And I will always be grateful for that. It's life-changing. It's life-changing how freeing this can make you.
More than my mortgage with my property taxes, and Texas is the highest property taxes, the sixth highest in the entire nation. I mean, it's insane.
Still true. It is. Texas is the sixth highest. New Jersey is the first highest. But ow, that was true a year ago. It's true today. And I think I just thought it was funny because I said that exact same thing, that it was higher than all of those things.
How much property taxes I pay and my homeowner's insurance all combined, and 1 month on Ozempic would have been more than that. So it's just not feasible. It's just not something that I can like financially do. And
also, at this time, I didn't know about the manufacturer coupons yet. So I'm still paying my $30 copay for this medication that I didn't know had a manufacturer coupon that would make it $25 a month, which I know $5 isn't a big deal, but it is a big deal because it adds up.
Those of you that can do it, good for you, because truly that is a substantial amount of money.
And I don't say that to be like, oh, good for you. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being genuine. Good for you, because that's an amazing thing that you can accomplish. I couldn't do that, and you can, and that's awesome. That's amazing, and I'm so happy for you. I wish that your insurance would cover it so you didn't have to pay out of pocket, but I am very happy for you that you are able to do it out of pocket. Although I wish your insurance would cover it and you didn't have to pay out of pocket, and I hope that that happens soon.
And that is not something that I could afford. And even if I could afford it, I don't like medication. I don't want to take it. So luckily, I mean, this sounds insane to say, but luckily I did have that. My insurance was willing to cover it due to the type 2 diabetes. Although the type 2 diabetes.
To this day, I don't understand how I didn't hear the ice cream man. I can hear it. Do you guys hear it?
Ow. The type 2 diabetes diagnosis that I got, I know other people who work with me who have the exact same insurance as me, so I know they have the same policy, they have the same everything, because we have the same plan, and they can't get it covered.
And that's still true. I still know coworkers who have the same exact plan as I do. They have chosen the exact same tier that I have, and they cannot get their Mounjaro or Ozempic covered through our insurance policy because their A1C is not high enough. So I still don't know if it's because I had other comorbidities that allowed my insurance to cover it. I don't know if I just slipped through the cracks. I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I only know that I personally know of others who are my coworkers who have the exact same insurance plan and policy that I do. The exact same one. We chose the exact same tier. We pay the exact same dues, and they can't get it covered.
Because they say that their A1C is not high enough. My A1C was 6.6, which my doctor said is the lowest that I could be to still be considered. That is because I have seen some charts that say it can start as low as 6.4, but 6.4, 6.6, whatever. So I'm at 6.6, or I was. I don't know what I am now. In 2 weeks, I go get another blood work done. So we'll go from there. But
they didn't test my A1C that time. They only tested my ferritins and my blood counts.
I am truly grateful from the bottom of my heart that this is something that, my insurance is substantially covering. My copay is only $30. And I know $30 can also be a lot for some people. $30 is not, it's not a little bit of money, and some people can't afford to pay even that extra $30. So I understand. Luckily, thank God, I am in a position where $30 won't, it doesn't cause a substantial, financial strain on my family. So I'm beyond grateful for that, because I don't know where I would be right now if I wasn't able to, if I wasn't able to pay for this, if I wasn't able to be on this journey, because although I've lost 120 pounds on my own, I couldn't do it anymore. I don't know if that stall would have broke on its own. I don't know. My body was just fighting me tooth and nail to continue to lose. And it's not fighting me anymore. I'm so grateful for that. And for those of you who have the opportunity to do this as well, I'm so grateful that this is an option for you. As much as I am that it's an option for me.
And I'm still incredibly grateful. I'm so happy for those of you who have decided to go down this journey. And I am so grateful that I get to do it. I'm so grateful you get to do it. I'm so grateful we get to do it together. And for those who are on the fence about it, I understand. Because going on medication is scary. I understand that it could be a great financial stress. If this would have happened when I was already out of work because of all of the other medical things that I had going on, I wouldn't have been able to do it because I was out of work, not making any money, and all the money I had to go to my mortgage. Leave it to David to always know when I'm crying. He got me to stop real quick. Leave it to David. He called right now. And I was like, how did you know I was crying? I mean, I wasn't really crying, but I was teary-eyed and I felt like crying. It was about to come out. It's such an emotional experience, to be honest with you. And if you're on the fence, just try it. What's the worst that could happen? It's the worst that could happen. I know we hear all the time about all these horrid things that happen to people, but it doesn't happen to everyone. It's rare. And yes, if you were that one, then it doesn't matter if it happens to anybody else because it happened to you. And that's awful. And I'm so sorry. And I don't mean to be dismissive of what you're dealing with. I really don't. But those are things that don't happen to everyone. You might have some mild discomfort. You might have some mild stomach issues. You might have some constipation. You might have some diarrhea. You might have some nausea. You might have some vomiting. You might have these things, but you might not. Or if you do, it might not be bad. If you're anything like me, you already dealt with all those things. Those were things that were happening to you every day anyways. So what difference did it make? It didn't make it any worse for me. It might not make it any worse for you either. I want you to feel the freedom that this medication really truly brings to your brain. It really truly brings to your brain.
Okay. Okay. I really didn't know if I can get through this without crying. And I'm going to do my best to do that because I'm already red enough as it is. And I don't want to add to it because it's ugly. But so my full 4 weeks, okay? Let's talk numbers. I don't know where my other book is. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay. Because it's emotional to talk about this stuff.
I hear you crying. That's why I'm over here.
I figured. I thought you had the TV on louder.
What do you want fajitas from some I'll pay him again fajitas for right here at
Thanks, David. You always come to my rescue. I still don't know how you heard me. I must have been crying that loud. I'm sorry. But thank you.
Apparently I was crying that loud. He's in the living room watching TV and heard me crying and came to check on me because I'm not a crier. You know, I cry a lot on this channel apparently, but you know.
That's still true. I really don't cry in real life. Like it takes a lot for me to cry. But I'm just constantly like addressing my issues here. So I cry a lot here. But I don't do that in real life. It's rare. It's very, very rare. So whenever I do, he's always like, extra concerned because it's extra weird for me to be crying.
No, I don't get emotional like that often, so Okay. So let's talk numbers. I don't know where my other book is. Luckily, I was trying to be more clear, so I made a new one for my doctor's visits, but I don't know where it's right here. Okay, so I haven't transferred, whatever. But anyways, so I started on June 19th of 2024. I took my first injection at 3:30 p.m. I took it on the right side of my belly. That was a Wednesday, 2.5 milligrams. So that day I did have some nighttime nausea. Thursday I had constipation and nausea before bed, but none of the side effects that I had were bad. So none of the constipation was bad. But I did have it on Thursday and Friday, the same side effects, constipation and nausea before bed. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I had diarrhea and nausea before bed. Again, constipation and diarrhea is something that I deal with normally. With the 50,000 IUs of vitamin D, it is a very common side effect.
I often forget that that's a side effect of high doses of vitamin D.
So
It's also a side effect of iron pills. And I was on iron supplements trying to bring up, plus the iron transfusions and stuff, trying to bring up my iron so that I would stay out of the hospital. So there was that too.
I'm not going to sit here and say that it's from Mounjaro. It was just something that I was experiencing. So I wrote it down. And Tuesday, I had nausea before bed. So on the 26th of June, I took my second dose on the left side of my belly at 12 p.m. And I didn't have any side effects that day. On Thursday, I was nauseated at night before bed, but I got sick. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I did not do any notations of it because I was incredibly sick. I ended up with bronchitis and a sinus infection. So I didn't feel that it was fair to write down how I was feeling, knowing that I didn't know what it could be from. So that Tuesday night is the night that I had my very first craving. I was craving cheesecake. And then that day was the 2nd of July. So I had also gotten my measuring tape that is perfect for super plus size people like me.
It is a perfect measuring tape. Most measuring tapes only go up to like 60 or 66 inches. I needed it bigger than that. And I found one that went up to 80 inches. I lost it though. I don't know what happened to it. I gotta find it because I do need to update my measurements.
Because it measures up to 80 inches, whereas a lot of the options on there only measure up to 60. So if you are interested in a measuring tape that goes that high, or you need one that goes that high, I'll link it in the description down below so that you can get your hands on it as well. It's nothing fancy. It's not like a smart measuring tape or anything like that, but it does the job and it works really well. And it's only like $6. So I took my measurements that day. We'll skip that, but we'll come back. On the 3rd of July, I took my injection at 11 a.m. on the right side of my belly. Now I am moving around the timing. I start work at 3 p.m. and I get off at midnight. So I do everything later in the day. I don't do anything really early because a lot of people say, that it takes.
And people keep telling me, you need to stop eating by 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock p.m. I'm like, I'm just starting work, man. That's not happening. That is not happening. I am just starting. I know I said that I had a migraine and that's why I pulled it down, but I'm trying. My hair is bothering me just being down. But you can see like how much more bald I am now. Here you can see it's like barely starting to form, and here it's like really bad, but it's gonna grow back in because my dermatologist told me so.
8 to 12 hours or even longer for the side effects to kick in. For me, I don't know because I've been sick, so I've been off of work. I'm not sure. I haven't been staying up that late. But on Wednesday, I woke up hungry for the very first time in 2 full weeks. I had not felt a single instance of hunger until that day. So that was the beginning of week 3. I also started therapy for my disordered eating. Thursday, I'm still not tracking any like side effects outside of talking about like my hunger and stuff. So
When I say I started therapy for my disordered eating, I was already in therapy, like regular, just regular schmegular therapy, but I changed the way that I was addressing therapy. I spoke to my therapist and I told them, I really felt like deep down everything is rooted in my food and coping with food and, my addictions to food, my EDs, right? I felt like everything is deeply rooted in that. And I wanted to address those things. And so we started addressing those things. Soon after this, a couple months later, or a couple months ago, I ended up changing my therapist to somebody who is very well versed in eating disorders, in EDs, because I felt like I couldn't get much further with the therapist that I had because she wasn't an ED specialist, right? Like that wasn't her wheelhouse. So she did what she could when she could, and she did me a great service for a really long time. But I needed a different kind of therapist. So it's okay to shop therapists. It's okay. If you need to find somebody who specializes in what it is that you feel you need in the moment, it's okay to do that.
So on Thursday, I was hungry. It was back. Hunger was back. Cravings are back since Tuesday night is the notation that I made. I also on Friday went to the doctor and then I started a Z-Pack and steroids. Still wasn't tracking any of my possible side effects. So on week number 4, I took it in my right thigh. It did sting. There was irritation, and I ended up bruising, which was the very first time that I had had anything like that happen. I did read. Well, I do know. I'm
To this day, only my thigh and my arms have done that. My stomach has never done that, ever, not once. But every time I do my thigh and every time I do my arm, that happens to me. So I just don't do them anymore.
been a medical assistant in another life. I used to work for a medically supervised weight loss clinic.
And I loved that job. I loved that job so much. Seeing people succeed all the time and seeing people address their issues and their struggles and, you know, hit their goals and watching them make these incredible accomplishments was just, I loved it. I loved that job so much. Like I cannot even explain to you how much I loved that job.
Many years ago. So I gave injections every single day. And I do know that with some subcutaneous injections, actually with any injection, you do run the risk of hitting a blood vessel and causing bruising. There was no pain really involved with the bruising, although when the medication went in, it did sting. Now I have read that a lot of people allow their pins to come to room temperature before they do the injection because it will negate that stinking feeling. I have not noticed it before.
To this day, that doesn't work for me. I could leave it out for, I can pull it out of my fridge and immediately inject, or I can leave it out for 10, 15, 20 minutes, a couple of hours. I can even leave it out for a whole day to come to room temperature. Makes no difference to me. If it's going to sting, it's going to sting. And if it's not, it's not. It's just that simple. I do notice though that if I do not allow the alcohol wipes to, or the alcohol to dry completely when I do the injection, and I know better because when you do the injection, you are drawing the alcohol into your skin, which is what stings. It's not necessarily the medication that stings or even the needle that stings. It's the fact that you drew alcohol into your body, right? Like it's not going crazy deep or anything, but the alcohol itself is what stings. Like, when you have a cut and if you were to put alcohol on it, how that burns, that is because you're putting it into your body, right? This is the same thing. So if you don't let it dry all the way and you inject, you are dragging that alcohol in, the needle head is dragging the alcohol into your body.
But on the 10th, I did get that. And I took it at 12:05 p.m. Now, I'm still hungry, but my appetite suppression, well, I'm not hungry. I'm getting hungry like throughout the day. Like I don't normally eat breakfast, but sometimes I wake up and I'm hungry. Even that is not normal for me. Even before taking Mounjaro, I just don't eat breakfast. I'm just not hungry really in the mornings. But I was feeling hungry throughout the day, whereas prior to that, with the first injection, I had never been hungry. I am.
Hunger is not the enemy. Hunger is not the enemy. Food noise is the enemy. For me, food noise is the enemy. And I have learned that food noise, cravings, wants, and hunger are all different. They are not the same. Food noise is the overwhelming, nonstop, constant thinking about food. You cannot move forward until you eat whatever it is that's on your brain or anything at all, right? Like it's the overwhelming. That's what food noise is for me. But cravings and wants, hunger, those are normal. They're normal things. Normal people crave, they want stuff, they get hungry, and then you eat whatever and then you move on with your life, right? Or you don't eat it and you still move on with your life. But food noise isn't that. It doesn't go away. It's nonstop, it's constant. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know how to explain it. It is that literally you wake up in the morning and you're thinking, okay, what am I gonna eat for breakfast? Ooh, the bacon sounds good. Oh, what about that? Pancakes. Oh, you know what? There's eggs. Oh, you know what? I think maybe cereal. Wait a minute. What am I gonna eat for lunch? How about a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Oh, but wait, I still need to eat breakfast. Let me go eat breakfast. And then you get up and you go and you start making breakfast. And then as you're cooking, you're like, oh, but this doesn't sound good anymore. Now the cake sounds good. Oh, but what am I gonna make for dinner? And then you eat breakfast, right? Say you decided on bacon and eggs, and as you're eating the bacon and eggs, you're thinking about lunch. Oh, what sounds good for lunch? Oh, that sounds good. Oh, this sounds good. Oh, I'm still hungry. This wasn't enough. I had 6 eggs, but it wasn't enough. Or I had 2 eggs and 2 pieces of bacon and it wasn't enough. Let's add some toast. You know what? I'm gonna add some toast, but I also want some jelly. Some jelly also sounds good. And then once you're eating it, you're like, you know what? I shouldn't be eating this. This is not something that I should be eating because I'm not going to get full. Wait, I'm not full. I still need more food. I'm going to go get a milkshake. Oh, you know what? I'm going to make myself a smoothie. Oh, you know what? I think I need a Dr. Pepper. Hold on, because I remember yesterday we made tacos and we still have a couple tacos in the fridge. That sounds good. I'll just eat that and it won't go to waste because I don't have to throw it in the trash. That is the nonstop, constant of food noise. And literally all these things are going through your head at the same time all day. Yeah, I might shut off once in a while. But for the most part, that's what it feels like all the time. And then add in that I shouldn't be eating that. Oh man, I ate that. Why did I do that? I shouldn't have ate that. I was going to eat this instead. That was not good for me. That's constant, nonstop.
I'm still having a bit of cravings. It's not crazy. It's not like anything I can't control, but I am there. Now, so what I did write down for the first full month,
That's what it is. Food noise is the insatiable, uncontrollable, overwhelming thoughts of food. Good, bad, ugly, doesn't matter. Constant thoughts of food. That's what food noise is. And food noise is the enemy for me. Hunger is not, cravings are not, wants are not, food noise is. For me. For me, it is the enemy.
kind of went over like how I was feeling and stuff. I talked about how I didn't even realize that the food noise was completely gone until it came back. I noticed the appetite suppression the whole time had been there, but I was never feeling hungry for the first 2 weeks. And then the second 2 weeks, I was having hunger cues coming back. So I started at the doctor's office at 364 pounds on the 19th of June. And the morning of the 17th of July, which makes it 4 full months or 4 full weeks, so my entire month, I weighed in at 347.2 at the same doctor's office. So that was a full loss of 16.8 pounds.
We're going to skip some of this parts because I can't compare them anyways because I don't have the measuring tape.
Beginning week 5, I did go up to 5 milligrams. So my next doses will be at the 5 milligrams. I did have some nausea mostly at nights and some diarrhea, and I did notice that with both of those things, they were exacerbated when I would eat fried or greasy food.
So here's another thing. When I started Mounjaro, I was eating low carb for years already, for like 2 years, right? Because that's how I lost the 120 pounds. But once I started it, I fell into the lore that you can eat whatever you want. I fell into the lore that this was magic. This was a magic wand and it was going to do everything I needed it to do, and I didn't have to do any work. I didn't have to change the foods I was eating, even though the literature, even though the pamphlet in the box specifically tells you you need to make changes in your life in order for this to work properly. I fell into the hoopla that you can eat whatever you want. You'll just eat less of it. And you'll still lose weight. So I reintroduced foods that I shouldn't have in the beginning. Then as I went on, I started to realize that, first of all, it doesn't make me feel good because I'm still having side effects from it. It's causing some stomach issues. It's, causing these mental issues. So I began to cut them back out. And it was harder to cut them out this time around than it was in the past, and I don't know why. But I wish I would have never heard anybody say that. I wish I would have never listened to people who said you can eat anything you want, just less of it. Because I did myself a disservice doing that. I really, really did. I reintroduced foods that I didn't need to reintroduce. And I know better now, but I didn't know that then, and I wish I would have.
And then I wouldn't have any of that when I wouldn't eat stuff like that. So, the first week or two, I was still David bought pizza one day, so I had a slice of pizza. I couldn't even eat the whole slice, but I did get diarrhea that day. So, I was also nauseated that day. I did also notice that it did curb my online shopping addiction, which is real.
I forgot about that. It did curb that because I was a shopaholic. I would spend and spend and spend and spend and spend. And they say that that's also a symptom of bipolar and ADHD, to not be a very good steward of your money. You impulsively spend, you impulsively shop, you impulsively do a lot of things. But shopping and gambling is very big concerns for people who have those issues, and I forgot that this did help a lot with that.
I am working with a therapist regarding my relationship with food, because I need to be able to get that under control in my head so that it doesn't continue to be a problem when and if I have to get off the medication, so that I can continue to have success in my health journey. I am 100% trying to take advantage of this opportunity that I have to the fullest, because I don't know how long I'll be able to be on this. I don't know, with my experience with my job, I've been there for 5.5 years. They have changed medical plans already 3 times. So I don't know whether or not this will be an opportunity for me come next year. So we're just gonna have to go from there. Hopefully this is not something that I need to consider anytime soon, having to come off. But if I do, at least I'll have some more tools built into my head to.
And I still believe that strongly. I believe all of us need to have other tools in our tool belt because we don't know when or if this medication is still going to be available to us. The more tools that you have in your toolbox, the better your chances are of success.
Learn to cope with my eating and you know, the food noise and the constant and the food comfort and those kinds of things. And I have not overeaten once since I've been on this medication. Overall, I'm just incredibly grateful. I really just am. And I hope that if this is also part of your journey, that you are taking advantage of it to the fullest, that you are working through the mental stuff as well as the physical stuff, that you are, you know, in the literature from Eli Lilly and from Novo Nordisk, if you are on Ozempic or semaglutide, Wegovy, it does say that along with diet and exercise changes, this medication can help you lower your A1C. It can help you with your insulin resistance, and it can help you lose weight so long as you are doing your part. And your part is anything and everything that you can do to better you. Because this isn't about bettering Eli Lilly. This isn't about bettering Novo Nordisk. This isn't about bettering me. This is about bettering you. You need to do the work for you. Not for me, but for you. I'll do the work for me. And when I can't do the work for me, I hope that I have support and encouragement along the way to be able to continue to get back on the right track.
And I still believe that. I still believe that. And when you are struggling that bad and you don't have it in you to keep going for you, come here. We'll encourage you. We'll let you know we believe in you. We'll tell you that you can do this. I have faith in you. I believe in you. You've got this. And I mean that. I mean that with all of my heart.
You know, and I will be that support and encouragement for you. I truly cannot explain to you just how grateful I am for you. I don't have words. In my life, I've never really had people that I can depend on. I've never really had people that I can go and talk to and be supportive of, you know, anything that I do like that. You know, my weight and my weight management and my health. It's not something that I easily talk to people in my real life about any time, since even when I was little, it's not something that I've ever been able to really openly discuss. And here I feel like it's a safe space, and I don't know why that is, but I do feel that way, even though it's available for the entire world to see, including
I still feel that way.
my family. But I really, really, really am grateful to you, and I really appreciate all the comments, the likes, the shares. I appreciate you subscribing, so we can do this. You guys already know I want to hear all about your week. I want to hear all about the ups and the downs, the ins, the outs, the things that you need encouragement for, the things that you need somebody to cry with you over, and I'm here to do that with you. The things that you need a pat on the back for, the things that you need somebody just to talk to, I'm here. I love to be supportive for you too. We're going to try something new this week. So if you've made it this far into the deep end, let's leave an emoji. That emoji is going to be the little party guy. Because
Okay, let's go ahead and leave the party guy in the emojis or in the comments today. Leave the party guy emoji in the comments today. It lets me know you made it this far, and it's just something fun we like to do around here. So why not? Might as well make it the same emoji.
woohoo, the little party guy. This guy. Let's leave this guy. If you've made it this far, please feel free to leave that guy in the comment section down below.
Leave that guy.
I can't express to you just how much you mean to me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I just want to give you the digital hugs that you deserve. And I'll see you later. Bye.
So, a lot has changed, but a lot has remained the same. I really, truly, with all of my heart, believe that you can do this. I really believe we can do this together. And close up, look at the difference in my skin compared to then. I tried to show you with the little screen, but now there's a big screen, so you can see it more. Isn't that crazy? Such a difference. But that was an interesting ride. This one. It's a broken blood vessel. People think it's a booger. It's not. Okay. Can't wipe it away. It's just a broken blood vessel. It's been there forever. Constantly blowing your nose will do that to you. But, you guys, sometimes just going back and reliving things that you've gone through really make a big difference. I'm glad we did this. I hope you guys are having a great week. I would love to hear all about it in the comments down below. You already know, good, bad, ugly. I just want to be there to support you the way that you support me. I'm going to give you your digital hugs. And I will see you soon, okay?